It's time once again for Drunk Cooking with Jetty. Okay, so we're trying a one-pan thing. I spend too much time on Pinterest, and that's like the craze right now. So I'm gonna try one of them out. It's a one-pan chicken, rice, and broccoli thing. I got some actual cream of chicken. Ding! Plug. I'm gonna try it out. First thing we gotta do, switch this around, is we gotta prep all our food. So you prep the veggies first, and then the meat, because you gotta worry about contamination. How to reduce our workload. Already prepped and ready to go. That way we can do our dishes as we go. How to cut an onion. First, cut it in half. You leave the root end on. Yeah! Make horizontal cuts into the onion that are parallel to the surface that you're cutting on. Now make vertical cuts that are at 90 degrees to the horizontal cuts. Now turn it back again 90 degrees and do vertical cuts at a 90-degree angle to what you just did, and you should end up with very nicely diced onion. Okay, so broccoli. I'm going to cut these things up really small. I don't actually like these, not a lot of us do, but to be honest, a lot of the nutrients are still in this thing, and they are edible. Not the leaves, but everything else on it is edible, so, I mean, that's why you get it in the bag, but you know what, I'm a little kid at heart, and I don't fucking like this shit, so fuck it. Okay, so I'm going to chop the broccoli up really small, because I want to actually make it, I like bite-sized pieces. Really big, chunky pieces are cool, but it doesn't matter, it's just a question of preference. Is it just me, or does he sound like he's telling somebody to go masturbate? We're gonna wash the chicken, because seriously, you gotta wash that shit off, man. You don't know what goes on that factory floor. Just rinse it off with cold water. Cold! Okay, dry your chicken off. You gotta dry it off. If it's wet, it's gonna stick to the pan no matter how much oil you use. Dry it off. Much better. Now we must flatten the meat. Make the noise, make the noise. I love it when it makes the noise. Alright, so now we're going to add some seasoning. So we call old men, like me. Okay, so our bounty is ready. Everything is prepped and ready to go. Only took about 15 minutes, but that's because I'm fucking around on this thing. I could have done it a little quicker. Now we're going to start cooking. First, I got these bitches going. We're doing 2 pans because I got 4 breasts, and honestly, 4 boobs, chicken boobs aren't going to fit in these things, so we're going to divide it up in half. Fun fact, for those of us watching how much salt they intake, you can let this salt, the seasoning, sit on there at least a half hour beforehand, and it'll bring out more of the chicken flavor. Since I'm out of grapeseed oil, I'm going to use olive oil, so I just got to watch the heat. The smoke point on this thing is really low, like 250 degrees. Believe me, you can get to that in a pan. Alright, so I was pretty liberal with the oil in this thing. There's probably like maybe 3 or 4 tablespoons in there. So if you're more strict on your diet, measure it out. Well, that's right, baby. Sing to me. Sing to me. Such a sweet, sweet song. We're due for my daily dose of wine, I think. Glass number 2. Oh, yeah. So I had the heat up high when I first put it in there, and then I brought the heat down to medium. on this oven. Every range is different. Basically learn your ranges and make sure you know how to cook on each one. Everyone's going to be a bit different. Yeah, as you can see, the heat's starting to crawl up, the white stuff. So as it cooks, it's starting to pull it up. Once that sucker gets up about, I don't know, a third of the way, maybe a little bit halfway there, we're going to flip it. Let me see that tongue. Yeah? No? Damn. So it's starting to see the brown on the outside there. So we're going to try and flip them over. Let's see what it looks like. Should come off really nice. Oh, that's pretty. Let's flip them over. I dropped the heat a little bit because I want to have them cook a little bit longer. But look how pretty that is. Oh, it's so pretty. So pretty. Oh my god, that one really looks good. Shit. This stuff is cooking. We're going to let this stuff brown up, and then we're going to drain off all the extra oil because we don't need that shit. That's just extra calories. We'll take the meat off. We'll let it cool. I'm actually going to shred it. That's just a personal preference of mine. You can dice it. You can leave it alone. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. I like shredding it because I'm waiting for the meat to cook, so what does that mean? Time for another drink. Yeah. Okay, so these suckers are done. Usually you tell by poking them, and you can tell by how done they are by this trick. Relax your palm. This is rare, that's medium, and that's well done. Usually works for steak, but kind of works for chicken too, as long as the juices are running clear, which they are. It's important to drain off that grease. Look at all that. Look at that. Now, mind you, I was a bit liberal with it, but do you really want to keep that in your macro count? That's at least. We're bringing it back up to heat, and then we're going to put the onions and all our aromats in there, which will be the garlic and the thyme. Excuse me, sir, but do you have the thyme? Why, yes, I do. So we got the garlic and the onions in there, and oh my god, it smells so good. Oh my god, seriously? Onions and garlic are sauteing in a pan are some of my favorite smells out of the kitchen. These suckers are almost done. We basically just need to get them, like, shiny. Realize that they're going to get a little brown because of the fond. That does not mean they're burning as long as you drop the... Sobriety check. Nope, we're good. So, I'm going to add some wine just because... So we added our dry, uncooked rice, white rice today, because I'm not cutting. And we're going to let this suckers absorb some of the flavor in there first. Okay, so we used a can of cream of chicken soup and then refilled it once with water and then once again with chicken stock for each pan. The whisk? Whisk me away! Yeah. To combine all the chicken stock and water and cream of chicken. Keep it quicker. I'm actually going to bring this up to a boil first. See, it's already starting. And then I'm going to add the other ingredients. And then we're going to cook it for 20 minutes. Remember our 34 ounces of pre-cooked chicken? We're now down to just under 31 ounces. So we lost 3 ounces of water. Okay, we've added the chicken, so now we're going to let these suckers cook for covered so that we don't lose a lot of the moisture because the rice has got to take 20 minutes to cook. And we're going to add the broccoli too. I've divided it in half, one for each pan. Okay, because I'm trying this out, I've now realized that there's not enough water to hydrate the rice. So we're going to add another cup of water to each. Alright, so I had to transfer it into a pot because it was just too much. The downside of meal prep, seeing as I'm experimenting, this is okay. Realize that I had no idea the volume of this thing. If I were a better cook, I would have known that ahead of time. But that's okay. I had the extra pans. It just means a few more dishes. So let's taste. Well, the creamy's there. Maybe a hair bit more salt, but I think that's okay, actually. Okay, I added maybe, I don't know, a teaspoon of thyme, maybe a half teaspoon of thyme, and then another big-ass pinch of salt and pepper. That's not bad. Maybe a bit more salt, but let's let it cook a little bit longer. You can tell I can tell we're definitely going to need more water, and we got to make sure you keep stirring it occasionally because of the rice at the bottom will stick to the pan and burn. So it looks like it's done. It's about the right consistency. Flavor's pretty good. It's basically a really thick-ass stew. I gotta go pick up the kiddo and then I'll come back and taste it. Alright, so this thing's done. Now remember, we had basically 32 ounces, just to make the math easy, of chicken. So we gotta divide that up to how many ever servings that you need. So I eat 6 ounces of chicken, so that means I get 4 servings out of what I made. So I just divide that up. I divide that up into 4 servings. So that should give me pretty decent macros. I'm not going to calculate them today because I was playing around, but normally when I cook something, I will actually figure out the macros beforehand with the ingredients at hand. But this was a new recipe, so I'm playing around, so I had no idea.